Hello there, and welcome to this episode, this session that we do of embodied cooking. Today we're going to be making a vegetable Pajeon, which is a Korean style savory pancake. I'm calling it clean out the fridge Pajeon because we kind of just use what we have around, and I'll show you what that is like in a little bit. I love this recipe. It's super delicious, and it's my favorite kind of thing where we can really use what we have around. It's something that's empowering. It's really sort of a base level recipe, something that you can make your own, which is what this is all about. Okay, so before we get started, I have this half lemon out for no good reason. Welcome to my kitchen. This is how it is. Before we get started, let's do our breathing. So let's feel our feet on the ground. And bring our palms to heart center, or you can, sometimes I just like to place my hands on my heart as well, the middle of my chest. And just feel your vibration, your human existence, your life in you, your aliveness. And as you feel your aliveness, begin to notice your breathing. What is your natural rhythm right now? And just begin to consciously lengthen the inhale and the exhale. For me, as I do this, I notice some sort of flashes of heat and cool flowing through me. I always think that this is sort of my body coming back into balance as I notice what's going on. Some emotion, some experience and stress of the morning, of the things that I've been doing, sort of registering and moving through. Let's do 3 rounds of Samavriti breath. That's the equal breath. So we inhale to a count of, let's do 5. And we're going to exhale to that same count of 5. And we kind of restrict the windpipe by just sort of squeezing the glottis in our throat to lengthen out the breath a little bit. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pause at the peak of the inhale and exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll let you do 2 more on your own. You can do longer or shorter. Think about your comfort level. That's what matters. Okay. And now let's set an intention for our time together. Mine will be to be just right here with you and offer you everything that I can, all of the wisdom that is coming through me, to empower you to cook and live the best way you can for yourself, following your own internal guidance. Wonderful. Okay, let's get started on the Pajeon. So I'm just making it for me, just one. You can double, triple, quadruple if you're making it for a family or making it for a bunch of people. If you just want to like make a bunch of these, it's a big pancake. It's going to fill the pan, and then we're going to fill it with the veggies that we have around. So we're going to start with, this is for one. I'm just using a half a cup of flour. Oh, I didn't grab my measuring cup. Oh, I think I can see it over here. Here we go. Things are a little crazy right now. I had my daughter's 6th birthday party this past weekend. There's a lot of baking involved. Half a cup of flour. And I have some friends staying with me, so things are a little different in a good way. Like, it's all wonderful stuff, but I feel a little like out of rhythm. There's been a lot of change going on. But that feels right, you know, it's springtime. It is time to change. It's time to move again. It is exactly as it should be. So here I'm adding a tablespoon of cornstarch. And in general, when you look up sort of Pajeon recipes, there's a lot of people use, a lot of the traditional Korean recipes use rice flour and potato starch, like potato flour in particular. And that's awesome. If you can get it, this is for me, it's like I have your regular all-purpose flour and cornstarch around. So that's what I'm using. And it works out okay. But if you have those ingredients in your cupboard and that's what you tend to have around, wonderful. Or if you get really into making Pajeon regularly, you should get some. So 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and then I believe just a tiny bit of baking powder here, 1/4 teaspoon. Boop. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. All right, that is it. For our dry ingredients, I'm just whisking them up so that they're all mixed together. So you don't have like a pocket of salt or a pocket of the cornstarch. And now we're going to prep what we have. So I have a carrot, which is looking a little rough. So I am going to peel it. You definitely don't need to peel fresh carrots, just like wash them. But when they are starting to get a little older and hairier like this, I tend to just want to get rid of some of that. This is, as you can see, a purple carrot, which is quite special. And purple carrots are usually not purple all the way through. They have this beautiful orangey yellow center. Boop. So that's done. And then scallions as well. You're gonna have to have scallions in a Pajeon. It's like always there, but you can also have other stuff. You do seafood is often chosen because seafood is so quick cooking along with the vegetables. And we're adding an egg into ours as well today. Again, you could totally skip that part. I think it's nice. It gives it a little bit of that egg in a nest kind of vibe. So we're going to do scallions, and then I also have in the recipe I did it with cabbage, but I have some green beans, so I'm going to use those. I couldn't find any cabbage when I was at the store earlier, and it's just not what I happen to have. And I want to show you can use all kinds of stuff. Or skip it. Just skip it. Just do the carrot and scallion and egg. That's great. There's a wonderful vendor at a farmer's market that makes actually she's on who makes this wonderful gochujang product, which I have here. And they do a bacon and egg Pajeon for breakfast. And it's magnificent. I'm just gently removing, not so gently, actually, just carefully removing the outside of these scallions. One, two, three, four. Just getting rid of all the papery stuff on the outside. Get this out of our way. Sweep it off into the compost bin. And in most Korean preparations, you tend to cut up the scallions into quite large pieces. I just like them to be smaller. So that's what I do. Here we go, lovely smells beginning to happen. We're just going to add the vegetables in with the flour. And next I'm going to grate this carrot with my box grater. I'm just making it into these small pieces because then it will cook really quickly and it'll all integrate nicely. Okay, good enough. Woo! How pretty is that? With the purple and yellow. I'm just going to grab a bunch of these. Fun. Green beans. And if you have the cabbage, please chop the cabbage along with me. Or anything else that you have. I'm just cutting off the really woody bits at the top, the stems. Some of them have them, some of them don't. I'm going to consciously slow down if you notice I'm going a little fast. Sometimes I go fast. And that, of course, is okay. But I'm just trying to slow down for you all, so you can see what I'm doing. And so I'm just going to kind of grab them all and chop them much like I did with the scallions. Some of them are flying out. blasting out here. So here we go. Now we need a half cup of water. And we're going to mix it all together, not with the whisk, because everything will get stuck in there. It'll be gross. But instead with just this wooden spoon will work. So you can see there's really quite a lot of vegetable matter in here today. Probably wouldn't want to add too much more than this or it won't hang together, but it still should. And we'll get an egg in there to bind it eventually as well in the pan. So we'll get over to the pan, but first I just want to make the dipping sauce over here. Because this is going to be quick once we get it going. Purple spoon. We have a little bit of soy sauce or tamari is what I keep around. Just a bit. I think I put the measurements in the recipe if you want to follow those, but I'm just going to do it by eye. About half and half rice wine vinegar. And then this time I'm also going to add in a wee bit of toasted sesame oil. Just the tiniest bit. And then a little bit of gochujang paste for spice and flavor. Mix that in and try to integrate it. It is a paste, so I like it. I'm just going to add a few sesame seeds in too for cuteness. Okay. So that will be all ready for us when we come back. Okay. I'm going to bring us around to the stove, which is always a lot of fun. Okay, how are we doing? I think this is good. Here we have our big old pan. And we are going to put it on medium-high heat to begin with. I'm going to get some oil in the pan. It's got a good amount, like about a tablespoon, maybe more. I'm gonna grab my egg from over here. And I'm seeing it start to shimmer and shine, which means that it's beginning to heat and thin out. Something that happens with all oils, they get thicker as they're colder, and then they become more liquid the hotter they are. Which is fun because you can see it. That's a good start. We're going to get this in. There we go. And then I'm going to just make a space in the middle for our egg to go in a bit. I'm first going to let it cook for a couple minutes. And I'm anticipating, because I did add quite a lot of extra carrot and bean, that this might not hang together so perfectly well. This could be a bit of an adventure, like last week when we made the cuckoo sabzi, where the flip was an interesting experience, but we'll see. It's always sort of a balance, right? Like anticipating the problems. Like, it's not a bad thing to anticipate a problem and sort of be ready for it. But at the same time, we don't want to be assuming everything is going to be a problem, you know? Whereas in this case, I'm sort of like, I think this is possible. I want to be prepared, but I'm hoping for the best at the same time. I'm going to move this a little bit because I can see this part's cooking a little quicker. It smells really nice. It's really sort of the oil frying smell, which is a satisfying, sort of primally satisfying smell. Mm. And it's the oil and the flour, sort of toasty smell. I have the warmth from the pan, and the little bubbles. While I'm waiting, I'm just going to come back to where I was earlier. Just my hands on my chest, noticing my own aliveness. Noticing where I'm at. Okay, I'm really noticing quite a bit of brown, so I'm going to check on the bottom. I don't think we're ready to flip yet, but I'm going to add the egg in. and salt, which I left over here. Really need to take the compost out. Turn down the heat a little bit. Move this over a little more centrally. Just because I can see it's cooking so much faster over here than over here. I know it sounds so silly, but these kinds of choices are really important. And the reason that I am teaching cooking the way, let's wait for that ambulance or emergency vehicle to pass. The reason that I point these things out is because it is only when we are in the present moment, when we are embodied and we are trusting our senses and what we see in front of us, that we can make choices like that, which ultimately lead to the food being the way that we want it to be. Not every time, we still will always make mistakes, but this is how you can really learn. It's all observation and trust. And with so many people that I have worked with and that I've spoken to, that's the missing ingredient in being able to cook in a way that just works in your life. Isn't part of the rhythm. Isn't this struggle. It's that they're missing that part where they can trust themselves and just go, oh, I think this part's cooking faster. I can move it over here. Okay, I'm gonna try to flip. It's a big guy. There's a little, I'm not promising anything spectacular here, friends. Here we go. Woo! Oh, pretty nice though. Look at that nice browning. Okay, I'm happy. There's still just enough of everything to keep it together. Well, isn't that nice? I kind of, so hot. I want to take one bit of green bean and see how it's cooking. Ooh. Not totally done, but good. I'm going to add just a sprinkling of salt to everything. And this is it. And if you wanted to do more than one, of course, we'd just keep going. And go a little faster each time because of the implement being, or the pan being hot already. And the second side is always faster. So let's check on it. Not done yet. You can feel the egg. So much softer than the rest. Let's do another couple Samavriti breaths together. Inhale. Pause and exhale. Inhale. Pause and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, let's check on it again. I think we'll probably a little bit. Yep, okay. Off we go. I'm going to bring this over the board. Okay. And then I'll bring you guys back over. Sorry about that. It always takes me a minute to figure out what I'm doing. Just place this directly on the cutting board. Whoops! No, I lost some of it. That's okay. This is really not like the most picturesque looking. But I don't know. It also kind of is at the same time. There's something beautiful. Look at all these scraggly little brown bits. Yummy, if you ask me. I'll get my knife out and slice it up. And let's see. I wonder if we're going to have any runniness to our yolk. I think not. No. It's fully cooked. I could have done maybe a couple eggs in this as well. And so let's have a piece. And you totally can use a knife and fork. I think that would actually be ideal. So let's do a fork. And I'm going to dip a little piece as soon as it's not too hot. And as you can see, it's like a little gooey in the middle, and that's just fine. We don't want it to be like undercooked flour or anything, but it should be cooked through. Mmm. Crunchy on the outside. Crispy. And then all the flavor from those veggies. And then made wonderfully salty from the dip. I really like this. Wonderful. So let me just finish that swallow before I say goodbye to you. But so this is it. I hope this was clear, the process, and that you can see how you could add more or less different kinds of vegetables, all kinds of stuff into this and make sort of a wonderful veggie pancake out of whatever you happen to have around. Let me know how it goes, how yours turns out, if you have trouble flipping, anything like that, and what changes you might make or do make in the future. I would love to hear from you and make requests. Next week, we are going to be switching over to Substack. I don't think it will make any difference to any of you really, but you'll still be receiving this in your email inbox with the video and everything. It will just be through the Substack platform instead of Patreon. So thank you so much for being with me here. I'm excited to really work on growing this community, so it can be a place where we all learn and grow and can see each other's transformations a little bit more. And I can begin to show you more, take more requests, all that good stuff. Thank you so, so much. And I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.